Another week, another platinum trophy. This week we have travelled all the way to Tokyo to get this platinum. The game of course being Ghostwire Tokyo. This game has recently been added to the list of games included with PlayStation Plus Premium and Extra, and it has also recently received some DLC. However, the DLC trophies will not be included in this video. Trophy wise, we are looking at 50 bronze, 4 silver, 2 gold, and of course the 1 platinum trophy. My main goal is to reach chapter 4 but not to complete it, as once you complete chapter 4 you are unable to access the entire world until you have completed the game. From chapter 4 everything is unlocked for you and you can almost get all of the trophies apart from some which you don't get until you actually complete the game. And just before we get into the trophies for the game, pressing both like and subscribe helps the channel immensely. Now that the intro is out of the way, time to get to some trophies. Our first couple of trophies are things that you pick up from when you are being introduced to the world. Our first trophy is called Heartbreaker. You get this trophy by defeating an enemy by pulling out its core. Shortly after this you complete the tutorial, which was also chapter 1 for the trophy Beginnings. We are next shown how to clear the deadly fog that covers the map. We need to visit Torii gates around the map, defeat the enemies surrounding them and cleanse the Torii gate. For doing this for the first time, we get the trophy Opening a Path. At the Torii gates we find a relic. We need to collect all of these relics for another trophy later on. For now however, as this is our first, we receive the trophy Treasure Hunter. While we are on the phone in the phone booth, I noticed that there is a voice recorder on top of the phone. After finishing on the phone, I picked up the recorder and received the trophy Echoes of the Past for acquiring a voice log. We also need to collect all of the voice logs on the map for another trophy a little bit later on. We then find a dog. After giving it some attention, we receive the trophy Animal Lover. As I was walking through the streets defeating enemies and capturing spirits, I came across a statue. This is called a Jesus statue. After praying to it, we would get the trophy Roadside Spirituality. There is of course another trophy attached to these that we need a little bit later on. While doing everything I can before moving on with the story, I take on the first side mission. For completing this side mission, we receive the trophy Problem Solver. And as you may have guessed, yes, there is another trophy later on regarding side missions. We then take the power from a yokai. For this we receive an item called Magatama. For acquiring our first, we get the trophy It's All Thanks to Yokai. And do I need to say it again? Of course there is another trophy tied to the Magatamas, a couple trophies actually. But for now I went on defeating more enemies, defeating a total of 50 by pulling out their cores for the trophy Soulbreaker. There are events that happen in the game where containment cubes show up. Within the containment cubes are spirits that you need to save, however enemies come along to try and suck the spirits out. This is something that we need to stop. For successfully protecting 3 containment cubes in a single battle, we achieved the trophy You Wouldn't Steal a Spirit. At this point it was getting quite late and I had a look to see if there were any quick trophies that I could get before finishing for the day. Thankfully there was one which required me to use photo mode for the first time. After entering photo mode, I received the trophy Amateur Photographer. The next day the first thing I decided to do was finish up chapter 2 for the trophy Trouble. Using my fire attack as well, I caused 5 enemy cores to be exposed all at once. By pulling all 5 cores at the same time, defeating them all, I received the trophy One Foul Swoop. To capture spirits, we need something called Katashiro. These are paper things that show up when capturing spirits. We can buy a total of 50 to capture the maximum amount of spirits. With the maker that I required so far from cash pots and also transferring those spirits, I was able to buy the maximum amount that I can carry. For acquiring all 50 of the Katashiro, I received the trophy Boundless Spirit. I then put some maker into the offering boxes and it turns out that I put 10,000 total maker in these. For doing this, I get the trophy Poyas. I think that's how you pronounce it, I have no idea. After this though, I quickly finished up chapter 3 and received the trophy Connection. We are now on chapter 4 and the true grind of the game now begins. This grind will include all but one of the voice logs, all of the relics, all side missions, collecting all 240,000 spirits, leveling up to the max level, and there are still more things that need to be done. Chapter 4 is pretty much where I will be spending most of my time. First, my goal is to complete the main missions up to the point where I can no longer return. I first get the trophy Couldn't Take the Heat for defeating 3 enemies simultaneously by detonating a red ether crystal. Next up was a story based trophy where I had to fuse back with KK after being hit by a severance attack. This got me the trophy Better Together. While in battle I managed to do a perfect block for the 30th time for the trophy Master of Blocking. And after capturing more spirits and going to the phone booth to transfer them, I had transferred a total of 25% of the spirits in the city for the trophy Helping Hand. At this point I had a look at what combat trophies I should go for instead of leaving them all to the end. I noticed several trophies that required talismans to defeat enemies. After going to the shop and buying all the available talismans, I received the trophy Talismania for acquiring all talismans. I also noticed that one of the trophies was to simply look at the moon for 30 seconds. So 30 seconds later I received the trophy Lonely Tsukimi. Now to actually use the talismans that I bought, I first used the Thicket talisman. When throwing out this talisman, it creates a bush that you can hide in. By throwing these close to the enemy, hiding inside and quickly purging the enemies 3 times, I received the trophy, a shrubbery. After buying more exposure and stun talismans, I spent a total of 1 million maker throughout my playthrough, so far giving me the trophy, Big Spender. After throwing lots of exposure talismans at enemies to expose the core, I finally defeated a total of 10 enemies by using Quick Purge, while exposed for the trophy, Let Yourself Open. Next was to do the same thing with stun talismans, 10 enemies later and I received the trophy, Free Scumbag. What I haven't mentioned is we have an ability called Wire In. This is a move which will cause weaker enemies to expose their cores or completely defeat them, while the larger enemies it will cause them to be stunned. By doing this 10 times, we received the trophy, In Sync. My next task was to collect all of the relics, as there are rewards behind giving the relics to the cats that are in the shop stalls. Thankfully, while they're active, you can see a general area on the map where they are located so you can collect them easier. However, there are a lot of relics, and while it's only been 30 seconds since my last trophy, in total this took me over an hour to collect. And after collecting them all, I then had to go to the individual stores to hand them all in. Thankfully though, just collecting them gave me the trophy, Collector. I next decided to go for some miscellaneous trophies, one that you wouldn't do just casually playing the game. The first one, I had to defeat an enemy with a headshot from a distance of at least 40 meters. For this, I placed down a save, and if I missed, I just reloaded that save. This took me a couple of attempts, but finally I got the headshot and the trophy, Sniper. Next, I needed to use the grapple and glide to remain in the air for at least 10 seconds. I found a roof to get onto where I could glide down, grapple at the end of it, but also continue the glide afterwards. I managed to do this actually on my first time for the trophy, Walking on Air. Back to the combat based trophies now. I had to start using the bow again, unfortunately. The bow is not particularly a weapon that I enjoy using in this game, but of course for the next 2 trophies I have to. First up is Go for the Eyes. For this trophy I had to defeat a total of 20 enemies with headshots. As I suck using the bow, this took longer than I care to admit. The second bow related trophy is called Take a Bow, or Take a Bow. For this I simply had to defeat a total of 50 enemies using the bow. I next decided it was time I fully cleared the map of fog, so I didn't have to worry about going anywhere. I cleansed all the turret gates for the trophy, Liberator. After going through all the areas as well, I found all the landmarks for the trophy, Shibuya is my backyard. Of course, while finding those landmarks, I collected as many spirits as I could. After transferring them, it turns out I had transferred a total of 50% of the total spirits. For this, I received the trophy, Savior. I decided to take a break from collecting spirits as I wanted to focus on all the other collectibles in the game. Spirits I can find easily thanks to the prayer beads that I have, so anytime I do a spectral vision, a blue orb shows me the direction of the closest spirit. It was time I went and collected all of the remaining collectibles. First up was the Magatamas. I acquired over 40 for the trophy with their powers combined. After beating more enemies, collecting more notes, and just doing anything I can to level up, I finally raised my synergy level to 50 to receive the trophy on the same wavelength. The next sort of collectible was to find all of the missing tanuki. Tanuki are a Japanese mythological shape-shifting raccoon type creature. Going through the map and finding these tanuki would be difficult as they have shifted into different objects. Thankfully though, despite being turned into different objects, their tails did not, which definitely helped. After finding them all, I received the trophy, Your Tails Showing. There was one more side mission left, which I quickly completed and got the trophy, Wishmaker. Next, it was time to pray to all of the Jizo statues. While casually playing, I managed to find over half of these, and after going through the map again, I found and prayed to the last of the statues for the trophy, Pilgrim. Now this next trophy is a little bit different to the rest in terms of collectibles. In fact, it's a little RNG based. We need to acquire all types of food and drink. While the majority of these are quite easy to get by just going to the shops and buying them, there are some that can only be found in plastic bags around the map. So it was a good thing that I had collected almost all the bags that I saw around the map, as I only needed to get one more drink to actually get this trophy, which was bought from a shop. After quickly visiting the shop and buying it, I received the trophy, Gourmand. At this point I realised that I kinda messed up. What I failed to realise was that the new skills had been added with the DLC update, meaning I had to do the DLC in order to get the remaining Magatama to unlock the remaining skills. So after spending an hour or so doing this, I finally unlocked all the skills and I received the trophy, Mind and Body. We have now almost finished with everything we need to do before continuing the story. First up, I collected the remaining spirits, the total being 240,000, as I was only able to collect 10,000 at a time. This took me almost 3 hours to complete, but after finally collecting the remaining spirits, I got the trophy, Salvation of All. The next trophy was yet again RNG based. Thankfully, like the one I did with the sniper, for this I made a save and reloaded every single time if I didn't get what I needed. I needed to pull a Daiko Omikuji, I believe it's pronounced, which put your health down to 1 HP. For getting this, I received the trophy, don't worry about it. There was just one thing left that I needed to do, which was to defeat a total of 200 enemies using Quick Purge. The website that I use to track all my trophies thankfully also tracks how many enemies I have defeated using Quick Purge, and at this point I only had 18 left. I also had a skill that I could use to do this quickly. You basically get an aerial quick purge. So basically you get high up and do a quick purge from a distance, and this also allows you to chain purges as well. So if there are several enemies in the area, you can then quickly go to another enemy if they haven't spotted you and quickly purge them. After 10 minutes this had been done and I received the trophy, Silent Kill. It has now been done. All the collectibles that I could collect before advancing in the story have now been completed. I quickly went into the story mission and completed chapter 4 for the trophy Contortion, while in chapter 5 I collected the very last voice log for the trophy The Whole Truth, and after defeating a boss I quickly completed chapter 5 for the trophy Severance. While in chapter 6 there was of course another boss type enemy. After defeating this I received the trophy Visiting Hours Are Over for defeating at least one type of every enemy in the game. And this was it, the end of the game. I am finally about to get the Platinum Trophy. First up is Hero of Shibuya for completing the main story after transferring 100% of spirits. Then the Trophy Conclusions for actually completing the main story. And then of course, completing the game also means completing chapter 6, which means we get the Trophy Binding. For completing the game, we also get the last set of beads, meaning we have collected them all for the trophy Power Overwhelming. At the same time, we also acquired the last of the music tracks for the trophy DJ Akito. However, the Platinum Trophy never popped. Turns out I made a mistake. Despite handing in all the relics, it turns out there was one that I missed for the final outfit that is needed for the Platinum Trophy, despite the fact that I got the trophy for collecting all the relics. Anyway, I had to go underground to the toilets where the last relic is located, which is a ghastly knife. I collected this, went to the shop that I needed to hand it in at, received the final outfit for the trophy Trendsetter, and of course at the same time we got the Platinum Trophy, Ghostwire Tokyo. As I said at the beginning of the video, Ghostwire Tokyo is available on PlayStation Plus Premium and Extra, and it is a game that I highly recommend. If you're looking for more Platinum Trophy hunting videos, feel free to check out the things on the screen, the end cards on the screen right now. One of them will be a playlist to all of my other Platinum Trophy hunting videos, and if you're watching this not on the release date, I may have released more videos as well, so the other link will be to my latest video.